Is your magic meter running low? Well, we've got a cure for you. Welcome to Disney Coast to Coast.
Hey folks, and welcome to Disney Coast to Coast, the ultimate unofficial Disney fan podcast. I'm Jeff DePauli, and welcome to the House of Mouse headlines for the week of March 1st, 2020, brought to you by laughingplace.com, your up-to-date resource for the latest Disney news every day of the week. In this week's news, the Walt Disney Company has a new CEO, a highly anticipated Disney Plus series is moving to Hulu, and much more. So let's get to it.
Hear the latest news from the Walt Disney Company in today's House of Mouse headlines.
First off, this week brought some huge and shocking news as it was not only announced that a successor to Bob Iger had been found, but that they would be taking over the role as CEO effective immediately. Bob Chapek, who had most recently served as chairman of Disney Parks, Experiences, and Products, has now assumed the role of Chief Executive Officer, making him only the 7th CEO in the history of the Walt Disney Company. However, Iger isn't exactly out the door just yet. He will continue on as executive chairman, where he will help ensure a smooth transition and oversee the company's creative direction until his contract expires at the end of 2021. As for the job Chapek vacates, Disney says a new head of Disney Parks, Experiences, and Products will be named at a future time. In a statement, Iger said of the move, with the successful launch of Disney's direct-to-consumer businesses and the integration of 21st Century Fox well underway, I believe this is the optimal time to transition to a new CEO. I have the utmost confidence in Bob and look forward to working closely with him over the next 22 months as he assumes this new role and delves deeper into Disney's multifaceted global businesses and operations, while I continue to focus on the company's creative endeavors. Meanwhile, Chapek stated, "I'm incredibly honored and humbled to assume the role of CEO of what I truly believe is the greatest company in the world, and to lead our exceptionally talented and dedicated cast members and employees." Now, if you've been listening to this podcast for a good period of time, you know that I obviously have some strong opinions about this. I'm not happy, for several reasons. Number one, I really wish that the Walt Disney Company would continue to move forward with two at the top, the way that it was with Walt and Roy, and again with Michael Eisner and Frank Wells. In my opinion, those were the best days of the company and the way that a unique company like Disney should be run. It sounds like we'll have that for a little under 2 years with Bob Iger taking on that more creative role, while Chapek deals with more business, but that's temporary. Second, perhaps this is unfair, but the CEO of the Walt Disney Company is a very public figure. My guess is that a lot of folks who aren't in showbiz couldn't tell you who runs Warner Brothers, Universal, Paramount, and all the other studios in town, but there's a good chance those same people could have told you that Bob Iger was CEO of the Walt Disney Company, or at the very least, recognize his face. This is a reality that Walt started and has continued through the years. With so much face time in front of the Disney fans and audience, it is extremely important that the CEO of the Walt Disney Company be personable and someone that we can all relate to. Like I previously said, perhaps this is an unfair part of the job considering no other studio needs to worry about this, but it is Disney's reality and frankly, one of the things that sets them apart. Time and time again, I believe Bob Chapek has shown that he is not equipped for this part of the job, and I don't believe it's something that can be believably learned. He's a businessman and apparently quite good at being a businessman, but I worry about the creative and personable part of the job. And one other point I would like to touch upon is the future of the parks. Since Bob Chapek used to head up that division, hopefully he puts a lot of emphasis on the parks. But I am concerned that there will be much more focus on upcharges in the parks, like $200 to build a lightsaber, instead of creating more attractions and shows included in your general park admission. I'm definitely concerned, but I hope that all of my fears are quickly laid to rest. Only time will tell. Recently, the Disney parks announced a new initiative to bring more plant-based dining options to the parks and resort dining locations. Now those efforts are getting an extra push as it was announced that Impossible Foods' popular Impossible Burger would become the preferred plant-based burger of Disney Resort, including Walt Disney World Resort, Disneyland, and the Disney Cruise Line. Several Impossible dishes debuted this weekend at the Disney California Adventure Food and Wine Festival, and Impossible Foods' head of culinary J. Michael Melton will be offering live demonstrations attractions in that park on March 7th and 8th. You'll also be able to find Impossible Burger options at Tony's Town Square restaurant in Magic Kingdom and Smoke Jumper's Grill in Disney California Adventure, among other locations. I've tried Impossible Burgers and I think they're delicious, and I love eating meat. With such realistic meat-like options that are plant-based, this really could make a huge difference on the environment if they can cut down the cost for Impossible meat so that the masses will switch over. If you've never tried it, give it a whirl. At last year's D23 Expo, it was announced that the iconic Spaceship Earth would be undergoing a reimagining as part of Epcot's larger transformation. Well, now we know that work on the updated attraction will begin this summer. As a result, the current version of Spaceship Earth will close on May 26th, with no reopening date announced. When it does reopen, the ride will put a focus on the story of humanity. While some of the ride's most well-known and beloved scenes will remain, they will be blended with brand new scenes to tell a story about our human experience. So if you're a fan of Dame Judi Dench and Spaceship Earth, hopefully you can catch one final journey on this edition of the grand and miraculous attraction before it's gone. From attraction closings to attraction openings, the new Mickey Shorts Theater will debut at Disney's Hollywood Studios on March 4th. If you've been keeping up with your Disney news, you'll know that this is the same date that Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway also opens at that park. Speaking of the famed duo, they'll star in an original short titled Vacation Fun that will screen in the theater. The film will feature Mickey and Minnie highlighting some of their favorite vacation memories, aka sharing clips from previous shorts. After guests enjoy the new show, they can step into life-size backdrops of the animated shorts for unique photo opportunities. You can join the fun when the Mickey Shorts Theater opens on March 4th. If you're a Disney Parks regular and have become a flying ace on Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run at Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, you may be interested in a recently discovered, no longer so secret option. Dubbed Chewie Mode, those boarding the ride can apparently execute a specific series of instructions in order to replace the ride's audio instructions normally provided by Hondo Ohnaka with those of Chewbacca. Fresh Baked Disney posted a video to their YouTube channel with all of the details, but be warned, you will need to get all 6 of your crewmates to follow the steps in order to unlock this mode. Both pilots must push their flight control sticks to the extreme left or right and extreme up or down, then hit the flashing orange activation button, while all gunners and engineers must hold one of the illuminated white buttons down, then press the flashing orange activation button. Sound too complicated? Don't worry, you can always enjoy the regular version of the ride as well. But if you and 5 friends want to try something different, give this a shot on your next visit to Batuu. As hard as it may be to believe, the Indiana Jones adventure at Disneyland is turning 25 this year. To celebrate the milestone, Disney is inviting fans to commemorate the occasion with special offerings. First, on March 3rd at the Adventureland Bazaar, guests will find an Indiana Jones Adventure t-shirt highlighting 25 epic years of adventures, fortune, and glory. Additionally, guests can explore tasty snacks inspired by the adventurous spirit of the attraction, available from March 3rd through the 8th. Also, don't forget, on March 4th and 5th, annual pass holders will have the opportunity to enjoy exclusive access to the attraction for 1 hour after park closing. But whatever you do, don't look into the eyes of Mara. In some other Indiana Jones news that has potential to be far less exciting, it's been reported that the legendary filmmaker Steven Spielberg, who has directed every single Indiana Jones film up to this point, will no longer be directing the upcoming 5th Indy film. Instead, Ford v Ferrari and Logan director James Mangold is apparently in talks to helm the project. According to Variety, Spielberg will remain involved in the film as a hands-on producer, and the decision to leave the director's chair at all was reportedly entirely his own. With a new director taking over just months before filming was set to begin, it seems possible another delay could be coming, though representatives for Spielberg and Disney have yet to make any comment. Currently, the untitled Indiana Jones 5 is supposed to be released July 9th, 2021. As anyone who follows me on social media knows, I am a huge fan of the Fox film Love, Simon, which is why I was extremely excited when it was announced that a spin-off series titled Love, Victor was coming to Disney+. While the project is moving forward, it will now be available on Hulu instead. According to Deadline, the series will depict alcohol use, parents' marital issues, and sexual exploration that might not have fit the family-friendly constraints of Disney+. The good news is that the half-hour comedy will debut on the platform this June, with 10 episodes already shot. Plus, a writer's room has reportedly already been hired for a second season. So perhaps this change of venue may be for the best, but I personally wish it would be available to folks on Disney+. I personally feel that this whole 2 adults for Disney Plus thing is getting a bit tired. Now, I certainly haven't seen every episode, but doesn't The Simpsons have some pretty adult humor in it? And they've already announced that Hamilton is scheduled to go to Disney Plus. That show is full of curses. Are they really going to edit or bleep Hamilton? In some related news, this week Lizzie McGuire creator Terry Minsky spoke to Variety about her ouster from the sequel series and why production has yet to resume. From the sounds of it, it seems that the version of Lizzie that Minsky and star Hilary Duff had envisioned may have also been a bit too adult for Disney+, with the showrunner saying, "Hilary has a grasp of Lizzie McGuire at 30 that needs to be seen. It's a wonderful thing to watch. I would love the show to exist, but ideally I would love it if it could be given that treatment of going to Hulu and doing the show that we were doing." Since Minsky's departure, the show is yet to hire a replacement, leaving some to wonder whether it continues on at all. If it does, Duff and other original series stars Adam Lamberg, Hallie Todd, Robert Carradine, and Jake Thomas are set to return as well. I guess we'll get one step closer each and every day, and we'll figure it out on the way. Finally this week, with Disney Plus set to premiere in several Western European countries next month, the service is now selling pre-orders in some markets. Currently, special launch offers are available to residents in the UK, Germany, Italy, Spain, Austria, and Switzerland. These offers allow fans to save on an annual subscription to the service, with prices varying by country. Consumers who sign up during the pre-sale will be able to access Disney Plus on March 24th and will be billed on that same day. Notably, Disney Plus will also arrive in France on March 24th, but it is not offering a presale at this time. That does it for the news this week, so let's get to this week's Twitter poll. With the news about the new CEO, I asked you folks, of the following options, who has been your favorite former Walt Disney Company CEO? Your options were Roy O. Disney, that's Walt's brother, Ron Miller, Michael Eisner, or Bob Iger. Now, in last place, unfortunately, with no votes, was Ron Miller, followed by Roy O. Disney with 12% of the votes, then Michael Eisner with 32% of the votes, and 56% of you say Bob Iger is the best CEO. If you're curious about who I would have voted, it would have gone to Michael Eisner for me. Do you agree with these results? Cast your vote in the Twitter poll every week by following Disney CTC on Twitter. That's DIZNEY CTC. If you'd like some more info about the show, are looking for some links, or want to contact the show, head on over to DisneyCoastToCoast.com, and don't forget that you can become part of the DCTC community and gain some bonuses by visiting patreon.com/DisneyCTC. That's patreon.com/DIZNEYCTC. If you haven't listened yet, tune into this past Wednesday's episode where I interview a director from Disney on Ice, and on this upcoming Wednesday's episode, it's a conversation about Frozen, the Broadway musical, with original DCTC co-host Patrick Dougal. Be sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and so many more places so you don't miss out on any of the magic. Other than that, folks, have a magical day. Bye!
Thanks for listening to Disney Coast to Coast. Have a magical day.
Disney Coast to Coast is produced and hosted by Jeff DePauli. Learn more about the podcast and become a supporter at DisneyCoastToCoast.com.